What's the meanest thing a doctor or nurse has said to you? 2. A few years ago I was really sick. I kept getting UTIs like 2 or 3 times a month. I had gone to doctors who had dismissed me as having too much sex or that I didn't clean myself well after the bathroom. Neither was the case. I eventually landed at urgent care again on a Friday evening in tears because I had yet again another UTI. Thankfully the doctor eased nice that night and she sent me home with antibiotics. But something was wrong. A few days later my right side was hurting and the antibiotics weren't helping like they should have. The urgent care doctor called and said she had made me an appointment with a urologist in town. He was the only one available on short notice. My cultures had come back positive with a strain of E. coli called Espel. It was resistant to all oral antibiotics and I needed to see a urologist ASAP. So I went to the urologist and I was emotional because I was scared. They made me do another sample and after I tell the doctor why kidney really hurts he told me to stop being hysterical. That the urgent care doctor didn't know what she was talking about and I didn't have an infection. I just needed to go on a diet and lose some weight. He even referred me to a psychiatrist. Well, freaked out I went home and my boyfriend took me to the where all they could do was refer me to an outpatient clinic for a 7-day course of shots for an antibiotic called Invents. I got the shots and kinda felt better but something was still off. 1 week after finishing the shots my BF says you rolled to hug him and I burned him. My fever was so high I wasn't fully responsive. He grabbed me and drove me to the hospital. Turns out the shots only masked my symptoms, didn't cure me. I was now septic with a super resistant strain of bacteria. The doctors had a hard time bringing down my fever which was 105 when I got to the I don't remember because I didn't wake up for 5 days. By the time I woke up I had several ibs go bad and my veins were shot from the infection. I had to get a PICC line. I lost 30 pounds in a month and spent most of that in hospital. I recovered but not before I lost some function in my right kidney. All because I had a doctor that was a total ass. I now have PTSD from the experience. And it turns out my estrogen was low which is why I was getting the infections in the first place. But no one tested my hormones because I was in my 20s and too young for that test. 3. I became pregnant at an early age. When I went into the hospital to deliver I was really scared. In 1973, in the hospital where I delivered my son, no one was allowed with me in the labor room. I was scared and not sure what was going on. I could hear another woman in labor yelling. I was crying silently but trying really hard not to. A nurse came in to check on my progress and tears were rolling down my cheeks. She said to me in a hateful tone, "Stop crying!" It doesn't hurt that bad. That made matters worse. A few minutes later a different nurse came in and stroked my hand. She said, "Honey, don't listen to her. She has never had a baby and I have had 6. You are doing great." An hour later they were sending me down to x-ray because my labor was progressing but my cervix was not. I think I finally relaxed knowing I was being taken care of, and delivered my son in about an hour. Never saw that nurse again the 4 days I was in the hospital.